What is up, boys? It's your boys, Two Ham Salamis, and your man Steve McQueen coming back at you.
Ooh,
I don't know which one of us is Two Ham Salami and which one of us is Steve McQueen, but I could be either of them.
I do have two hands.
No, no, ham, like a
Oh,
pork.
I I don't have any hands.
No, well, neither do I, unfortunately. Anyway, guys, it's John and Patrick from Obscure Reference. We're back at it with Opum, One Piece of Our Minds. Chapter 1150 just dropped, so we're going to read that, give you our live reactions.
Hello.
All right. Chapter 1150, we got Dami Reversi. We're starting off with Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 34. Enma Shrine and Hakamai Yasui's sword is enshrined and the pilgrimage is complete.
I like this. This is
I'm
good.
I'm going to miss Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage. I really am.
It's not over.
The pilgrimage is complete.
It's not the final volume.
How do you know?
It doesn't say final volume.
It says complete.
Don't they usually say final volume?
It says complete.
No.
Okay. Anyway, jumping into the chapter.
All right.
I don't know. There's not much to discuss here. We return the sword to the shrine of Yasui or whatever it said. I have not
Yeah,
enjoyed.
the
The only part of Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage I've enjoyed is saying Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage. Like, the rest of it's been kind of bland for me.
I like seeing Ulti and Page One join up with Yamato. I do appreciate that, and seeing resting
Bitch
Yasui's
face.
sword and Emma's shrine. I think that's a really touching send off for that character. So I appreciate that, but yeah, I'm not overly thrilled by anything we've seen here in this cover story.
Let's get back to
Uh,
Elbaph. Go!
so yeah, we didn't read last week's chapter, but we kind of left off in a mess, a cliffhanger that really was like, what? Wow, wow. So we're gonna jump right back into it. We see a bunch of these giants saying, "The children! Oh, thank goodness they're safe." Mister from the bar, my daddy fell down into the underworld. So yeah, Colin's up front. He's crying, and they're like, "What? Mister Ya did? It was that lady. Watch out for her." You see how the children are crying for their parents. Um, she's floating. Poor kids, you must have been so scared. Come, let's. And then he gets. Oh, Colin's stabbed. Oh no, is it the thorns on them? You think? That's probably what it is.
Probably?
The thorns from Colin are going into this giant dude. He's trying to help them, and he's
Oh,
backing up.
no.
He's like,
It's the Conqueror's Hockey from Emo.
"No, there's a stab sound effect though."
Oh, he is
Couple.
getting stabbed. You're right.
So I do think that is the thorns at least. You see him cowering on the ground. He's got blood coming out. Huh? What was that? And we see Gunko's looking over there, or is it Emu rather? And you just see a bunch of like conquerors going out, and she's screaming silence. And you see all these giants are passing out and foaming at the mouth, and even some of the kids are passed out, but they're still walking. Yeah, so that hockey's flashing out. Okay, and we see Dory and Brogy with the giant pirates. Some of them are foaming at the mouth, but they're like, "Whoa, hey, snap out of it!" So they're not falling for it. Um, okay, now I'm okay. You know what? You know what? Anyway, I'll just keep reading. We see Jarl with some of the other giants, and it looks like. Oh, okay. Now I see what's happening. Some of the giants that passed are being held by some of the other giants and stuff. We see a pentagram sort of thing in front of Gunko. It looks like she's summoning some sort of thing. And huh? Okay. There's lots to unpack here, I think. But we see just big, like devil-like, gargoyle-like wings from Gunko. We see like a typically satanic sort of tail and the trident um, coming out of Gunko as well. And they're saying all resistance must be quashed. Is this the best thy sleep dids can do, Killingham? And yeah, very demonic, satanic sort of appearance to Gunko here. Um, And we see Killingham. He's sweating. He's like, "Not so, Great One. The nightmare holes remain open. They continue to spawn monsters from every nightmare found on the island. These are creatures from dreams with no concept of death. They can be revived at any time on my command."
I feel like you should be
Yeah.
reviving them then.
I know, it feels like. Anyway, and we see the tight up strats are noticing Sommmers getting back up. Lead the line of whelps, Sommmers. Right away as you command. They're like, what? He's still alive. Is that, and this is Jinbei saying, is that the same woman up in the air? She seems different from before. We have Robin asking, where's Luffy's group now? And we see Nami and Brook here. Well, Luffy and Zoro and Sanji aren't here. Hajridon's bunch as well. It's just our luck that they'd all be down in the underworld far below. And we see Robin's trying to scratch her back, I think, but also break out of the thorns wrapped around her. And Jinbei's like, what are you doing, Robin? She's like, I have to help. I can't just sit here captured and do nothing. And we see just a brief flash of the school and library burning down. Obviously, that's probably a top concern for her. Uh, we see Sommmers is like fully up. He's pretty much mostly healed. His hand's still slowly regenerating. The question now is with whom we will parley using these whelps as bait. And that's Emu saying all this. Absolutely right, oh great one. It makes no sense. A kingdom without a king? And he's thinking to himself, stupid Gaban, my body's in agony. And yeah, we see Gunko slash Emu floating in front of the giant pirates. Dory the blue ogre, Brogy the red ogre, I charge thee with dominance over this land. Thou wilt be kings. And we see Brogy's like, are you with the holy knights? You're the one who's driven Elbaph to madness. And you just see him grab Gunko.
This is about to go
Slash Emu.
very poorly for him.
Yeah. Turning the page. Go on ahead, Dory. Join him, boys. Sure thing, Captain. Take care of yourself, Brogy. And Brogy's just looking at Gunko. Now give back the children. How many of you are there? Understand this, Brogy. Thou wilt meet with Beardhill Jarl. Cut off his head and hold it aloft. And you see Gunko's hand. There's like a circle and like a book with like a pentagram on the front cover, just like appearing out of like a portal thing. It's unfurling. Um, then announce to thy people that we are the kings of Elbaph. And what something's coming out of the book. And he's like, never! This is our country. You can't tell us what to do. And you see a gun, a double barrel blunderbuss sort of thing come out, and a knife, it looks like. And she's grabbing the knife, stabbing Brogy's hand, and Kunko's saying, but it will not be for nothing. I give thee the power of evil. And shoots his hand off.
Oh
The one
shit!
that she already stabbed. So that's wild.
Is
Some weird
Brogy
effects
gonna
going
become
on.
evil?
Oh, we getting the Dory Brogy rematch? That'd be wild.
Dude, that'd be fun.
That'd be wild.
Oh shit!
Okay,
Yeah,
so
no,
yeah.
sorry, I looked ahead a little bit. He's evil. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. Um, they're like, oh, the captain's arm. Urgh. What happened, Captain? I don't believe it. She took off his mighty arm? She'll pay dearly for this. In exchange for some measure of thy lifespan, thou wilt receive an undying body and uncanny strength. Under fealty to Mu, thou art unbound by common sense and logic. Demons are the only proper form for life to take. You see a pentagram forming under Brogy. Diabolical covenant. Did she say demons? What's she doing to him? And he starts sinking. He's like, Dwell, I'm sinking. And Gunko just holds up her hand and says, Domi Reversi. And it kind of looks like, oh, okay, never mind. I thought she had both her hands up and she was trying to do a Kamehameha, but no, she's flipping her hand up like that. So, yeah, we see the portal kind of, or whatever Brogy's in, kind of like
Swallow
rotating.
him, and then just he does a 360.
Yeah, and the bottom half comes up through and it's just pure, well, yeah, okay. And he's like, wait, stop. And yeah, you just see his feet sticking out. Um, and you see him pull himself out of the portal. You see he's got long, gnashy like teeth, and yeah, there he is. He's a demon now. His hands floating right next to where it should be attached to his arm, And yeah, he's got a big little axe and he's got devil wings, devil horns, and stuff. They're like, ah, he turned into a demon. He's huge. What happened to you, Captain Brogy? Yeah, I guess I didn't register because I'm used to him being a giant anyway, but yeah, he's bigger than all the other giants by a good margin. He looks terrifying. Is he a real demon now? Give back the captain we know. The real Captain Brocky has never once tried to attack his own crew. He's got a warrior's pride, and he gets cut off as Broggy just hits them all and they go flying. He's like, Gabba, ba, ba, ba. I feel all powerful. Nothing can stop me now. No, she got Captain Dory too. Oh, okay, well, no, so much for a rematch. But we just see Dory. He's got long teeth as well. He's got all the properties that Broggy has as far as being a demon's concerned. He's like, get. Come along, boys. It's time to kill Jarl. No, Captain Dory, stop! You have to wake up. What about saving the kids? If you actually do that, our country is doomed. Help us stop them. Captains! What? Oh, and she's, yeah, turned them all into demons as well.
Oh shit.
And he's like, what? Not you guys, too.
Oh my
Was
god.
it, was it because they were standing between the two of them? It can't be. Just keep your distance. And Gunk was just watching with some sort of satisfaction, I
Oh my
imagine.
god.
Whoa, okay. This is
Oh
a
my god.
this is a great panel. You just see I don't know who's saying it, but someone's saying, not bad. So this is the power of Elbaph.
It's got to be
He
Gunko slash Emu.
could be, it could be. Uh, but yeah, we just see, yeah, all the giants are huge and massive and shit, and we see the sleep tids behind them. So yeah, shit's going pretty bad pretty quickly. Excuse me, I feel a burp coming on, but I'll fight it. I'll fight it for you, John. Um, we see Gunko slash Emu looking over this. It will not be destroyed, but preserved and ruled over. Perhaps it is time to stay and watch to see how useful they will be in war. And we flash back over to the village, and we see all the people are like, please, Chief Jarl, you must flee. Something's wrong with Captains Dory and Brogy. Run for your life. And Jarl's saying, never tell a warrior to run from battle. Everyone's like, oh shit, he's gonna stay, isn't he? So they didn't say that. That was editorializing. But that's the end of the chapter.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I will be fully honest. This is what chapter 1150.
Mm-hmm.
We've been through thick and thin. I don't think I felt despair like this in Sabaody. Like just in the span of this
Mm.
one chapter, suddenly I'm like, holy hell, what do we do now?
I will say, big stretch. I had similar emotions for part of the chapter where all of the gods had showed up at Egghead. But that was a little different because I think that chapter ends with Bonnie going Gear 5. So some of that despair was like sugar coated with, oh, this is a really great Bonnie moment. But I might have to agree, other than that, I haven't really felt like, oh shit, this is really, really bad since like, yeah, probably Saboti.
See, I gotta disagree because like the Gorosei show up on Egghead, yeah, we get the Bonnie Gear 5. Oh, ignore all that. Like the Gorosei on Egghead, when they first landed, was so much more cool and fun. Like, oh crap, they're in their forms. We get this skirmish here, that one there. We don't really know their powers, but we're not engaging. We're just getting the heck out of here. So the stakes like
Well,
undeniably high, but at no point did they have the upper hand. It's like, oh my god, are we going to escape with our lives? Like here,
I,
I have no idea how we overcome this. Like this feels significantly more threatening than the Gorosei, which is saying something because they are terrifying.
I don't know. I just think seeing all like 4 or 5 pentagrams show up on the ground and then them popping up, there was just a level of despair there that was like, oh shit, because like we didn't really know what sort of route that arc was going to take at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I don't know. Point being, this is pretty wow. This is intimidating to say the least.
Well, I bet you. Actually, never mind. I figured out how we get out of this. One, we still have Gear 5 Luffy. Two, we're just
Yeah.
gonna cut Loki free, and like he's apparently more massive
Oh.
than all the other giants, and like
Uh,
powerful enough to destroy everybody at once.
oh
So
my God. Wait. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
no, that's just I'm kind of gonna finish there. Like at the bare minimum, we can take out the two big guys, and like no offense to these other giants, you don't have names. I don't care how big you are and how many devil wings you have. Like you're gonna be fodder
Hmm.
enemies. You're gonna maybe have a fight to buy some time, but
Yeah.
Dorian
No,
Broggy absolutely about to get axed by Loki Luffy.
yeah. No, I was just thinking, looking at Broggy here, he's got horns and he's gotten bigger. Maybe he's a lot more like an ancient giant than
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a interesting thing. Maybe they touch on that when Loki gets up there,
Oh, they
being an
absolutely.
ancient
Yeah. No,
giant.
I called on. Well, I didn't call it out loud, but I saw that immediately that we have the horns going on. We're significantly larger.
Yeah.
Um,
Nope.
but yeah, no, I guarantee down below it's going to be like, listen, you can either leave me here and Elbaph dies, or you can cut me free and see if I actually destroy Elbaph.
Now, is he still just have his foot shackled?
Yeah, it's just the foot shackled to the tree.
Got it. Okay.
So he, as similar as he is to Luffy with all the injuries sustained, they gave him meat, so he's back in fighting shape.
He'll be fine. Yeah. I
I
do
cannot.
think.
Actually, I'm so excited because like 2 seconds ago I was filled with despair because how the hell do we overcome this? And now I'm just like, oh, we're gonna unleash Loki. Oh, we're gonna take that shackle off and let him do his thing.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
cannot wait. Like, as terrified as I am, I just cannot wait for him to. What's his hammer's name? Ragnar.
Something like that. Yeah.
I can't wait for him to come up and just bam Dory Broggy in the head.
Yeah, and they even make sure to have the title strats mention Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, and Hajred and Sponge,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't mention Loki, so like obviously they're all gonna show up eventually, and probably bring Scott Gabon with them too. A
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people are thinking he's gonna land right by them, which I think makes sense.
Even if they don't
Um,
land right by him, they'll find him on the way up. He's not down and out.
no, yeah, I think he's for the most part out of the action. Maybe he'll have some moments here and there, but he's not gonna be the main fighter for our side at the end of things, I think.
No, he'll definitely
Um,
he'll do something, but yeah, he's the older generation. The only reason Silver's Rayleigh got to do anything was because the Straw Hats weren't strong enough at that point.
Yeah. So I think Scopper will help Luffy and the others learn how to deal with the regenerating bit. I think Chopper's going to help the other Straw Hats with that up top. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Oh my
Um,
god, do you think we're gonna get Monster Chopper? This seems like the perfect fight to get Monster Chopper.
Now, how big is Monster Chopper? Is he even giant sized?
It's inconsistent, I think. Like he's definitely
Okay.
giant sized.
Hmm.
I don't know if
It's
he's like
yeah.
ancient giant sized or if Chopper can now take two Rumble Balls and get super giant, but I can't see Chopper getting engaged at all without going monster.
Yeah, because as much as I like him using his medical side and all that knowledge, I think having him just be there to learn how they're regenerating feels like we could be doing more with him. I want to see the rest of the Straw Hats doing something.
I
And I
mean,
feel like we've been doing a pretty good job of that so far, but not for Chopper, not for Usopp, but they need their moments.
see, I'm so curious to what Usopp actually does in this arc because for the longest
Hmm.
time, there was debate like, is Elbaf going to be a peaceful arc? Is it going to be a Davy back fight with Shanks? Is it like
Yeah.
what is Usopp's arc here? Um,
Hmm.
and I genuinely don't know what he's going to do. Where the hell even is he? Is he just still tied up with the gang?
Yeah, he's still tied
Okay,
up with Nami and Jinbei and all them.
but yeah, like we touched base with them, and in Usopp's arc, we have gotten nothing.
Very little
Like
Usopp.
we
Like,
got a lot of fun with him at the party, getting too drunk, uh,
hmm he shot Gunko that one time, which did nothing
which did nothing. And
effectively.
so oh my god, I just realized Dorian Brogy are his masters, and he's gonna
Oh,
have to
true.
face them. He might not be the one to
Oh,
face them, but he has to be like, "How dare you, fall, you brave warriors." I want to see Usopp stand up to these guys.
no, I think we have that happen. I think it's not. I don't think it'll be Loki. I think it'll be Usopp.
I don't.
I
I
like that a
can't
lot more.
imagine a way where Usopp beats them. But I could imagine
Well,
him being brave and standing against them.
I couldn't imagine a way for him to beat up half the people he's beat up, so I don't know. It's Usopp. He's pulled off miracles before.
Well, okay, he's pulled off miracles before, but what are the odds he's going to stand against them and be like, I'm just, pulls slingshot back, he goes to attack, and then here comes Loki with a thunderbolt, and everyone's like, did Usopp just do that? Like, oh my god, he defeated. Like, how much is this going to be just right place at right time?
I think that'd be really funny, but I also really want Usopp to have his
I
moment because
do. I
like
want him to
all of
have
his
his.
moments have been
Like,
that too.
don't get me wrong, that
Not all,
that
but
is a true blue Usopp moment to defeat
yeah,
them by somebody else doing it but getting the credit. But at the same time, I want him to have a bona fide moment like where he did, what is it, observation hockey in Dressrosa. Like, give me a good
yeah.
Usopp moment.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I'm with you. I want him to have a bona fide like this is me. This is the merit of my skill. This is me. I'm a brave warrior to see kind of a
Yeah,
moment.
now, as much as I'm convinced Loki's going to play a huge role in just manpower and fighting back here, I'd
Hmm.
love to see Usopp take these two on. I have no idea how he does that.
No, I don't either, but
Cannot predict
I
even a
want that for
little
him.
how he doesn't do absolutely nothing, but I want to see that so badly.
Hmm.
At the same time, though, still absolute. This is a moment of despair. This is oh how the turntables. Like,
Yeah.
crazy
No,
though
I
that Emu shows up for a single chapter, just rallies everyone behind them, and just diminishes the Allied forces.
Yeah. What I'm super intrigued, and not super intrigued, it's just an interesting note as far as Emu's concerned, is they take over Gunko and they're like, what's taking you so long? The Holy Land is a sea of flames. What are y'all doing? Let's pick the pace up here. But they changed their tune at the end of the chapter here, saying
Mm-hmm.
perhaps it is time to stay and watch to see how useful they'll be in the war. Uh, which I find fascinating. Like,
I completely forgot the Holy Land's burning down at the moment. Elbaph is freaking
yeah.
insane. Like, I was excited when we first got here. Then I was a little
Hmm.
disappointed and things petered for a minute. It had good moments, like fun characters and all that. But past like 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so, it's been nonstop insanity. Big reveals, big moments.
Hmm.
Uh, gosh dang, and it's like as fast as Egghead was, this is breakneck speed.
Yeah, I do think we were meandering for a little bit, and I think Egghead does a little bit too. But yeah, since the coin flip, yeah, it's been nonstop. I'm all about that. Um,
But
yeah,
one thing I did also just connect the dots on. As soon as we get Loki freed, he's not just going to be Loki. He's got a devil fruit. So we're gonna
true.
get, and we're at like the height of conflict right now. It's not time to fight and then work your way up to a transformation. We're about to see whatever it is he can do.
Hmm.
I really,
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of theories. The one I really want to be true, I've said it before, is that he's got the Fenrir fruit, which ties
yeah,
so much into Ragnarok. But I just want to see chains come off. Next panel, he's jumped up from the underworld as a giant wolf, hammer in mouth, slaying shit left and right.
yeah. Hmm.
This,
Mm.
I think this is going to go down as one of my favorite moments in One Piece because, like, again, Saba Odi felt like despair, but at the same time, you knew Kuma was up to something. You knew he didn't just like disintegrate the Straw Hats and the story's over.
Hmm.
But aside from Luffy and Loki, and wanting Usopp to have a moment, I have no idea how we get out of this. Like, this seems like a lot more than we can just brute force. Our allies have become our enemies.
Hmm. This pretty dire, all things considered.
I was even gonna say,
Now,
like, first few
hmm
pages into this, there's not too much to go over. Like, Emu's here, Emu's doing things, sure, sure. But then we just immediately kick it up to 11.
yeah. And I really dig the aesthetic that we're going with for the demons and stuff. Like, it's pretty traditional demon fare too. But it works.
Now, let me
keep it
ask you
simple, I
this.
suppose. Hmm.
Why don't the God's Knights, the Holy Knights, have fangs and wings? Because
Well, I'm
assumably this is
yeah.
the covenant they made, is they, get power from Emu in exchange for invulnerability. Are all of the Holy
Yeah.
Knights against their will being forced to do this? Or have they all just been like trapped and powered up and brainwashed? Because
Well,
assumably Gunko has
yeah.
been, and
I
like they're
Here's the thing.
they no longer care about saving the children or protecting Elbaph. So are all of the
Here's
Holy Knights
where I'm
actually
at on
innocent? Are
Alba.
we supposed to sympathize with them?
I think there's a because I'm looking. I was comparing. It looks like when Sommmers is regenerating his arm, it has like a similar effect to what Brogy's arm is, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like kind of
Kind of there,
gooey,
kind of
gross,
not.
and icky.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we've seen Sommers's arms like they've been like firmly attached. So I wonder if there's a difference here. Because I wonder if it's the difference here is there's a level of consent that the Holy Knights have in taking this sort of covenant, whereas all of these giants have been forcibly switched. Um, but also, I don't see. I'm trying to connect the dots here on like why Brogy's arm or hand is detached but still there, and like I can't tell with any of the other giants if they have anything like that.
So let me back to this whole Holy Knights might be brainwashed kind of a theory. I actually, the more I'm thinking
Hmm.
about it, the more I like that. It's the warrior of liberation against an army of slaves, but who are
Yeah,
compelled to fight. They have no choice in the matter. But what is, more world government than just imprisoning and forcing to kill?
yeah, and I think after last week, I at least I don't know if there's any sort of talk of this online or not, but I feel like it was pretty easy to jump to see, oh well, Gunko's kind of being held against her will to do a
Yeah, I
lot of
mean,
this stuff.
that definitely, I
Um,
think everybody is in agreement on. One
yeah,
thing
I
sorry to interrupt, I wasn't quite done there.
uh,
Last page, right at the bottom right hand corner, we get reactions from Sommmers and Killingham.
hmm
They look pretty shocked. Like, Sommmers specifically is freaked out by what's going on. Killingham has much less face to react with, but his eyes are definitely not happy. So why
yeah.
are they scared of this? Aren't Shouldn't they be like, hell yeah, turn the tables on them?
I mean, that could definitely tie into what we're saying here with some of these guys being held up against their will. But I also think there's a level of, oh shit, we didn't finish the job we were assigned, and now our boss is here getting it done for us. Like,
Ooh, good
they know
point.
there's
Good
probably going to
point.
be some sort of punishment there, I think. So I think it could be a couple of different, it could be anything, honestly. I could see it being like some of their true selves poking out and be like, oh, this sucks. But
Okay, so
yeah.
I mean, this is pure, not even speculation. This is just things I'm thinking. Luffy and Loki
Hmm.
show up. What's to
Yeah.
prevent them from getting, converted?
I don't know.
I could
Hmm.
actually, like, Demon Loki, I could imagine that because they came here to get Loki. I could imagine they leave with Loki. I,
Okay.
I could actually even imagine Loki offering to go to save the children. He's got a heart of gold after all. But
Now, all right. Hear me out.
I think Summers and Killingham are dead here for sure.
Oh, I can see that. I
Yeah,
can see that.
just like Jay Garcia, like you failed to do the one
Yeah.
thing I told you to do. You're dead.
Yeah, I think, well, I could see Summers fighting it. I'm not convinced about getting him. I think his power is interesting, and I think Oda wants to could do more with that if he wanted. But I also would be surprised if he also bites it.
Yeah, but
Gunko's
you could
definitely
also
surviving
just
this.
give someone else his fruit.
True.
But yeah, no, I
Um,
don't think Summers for sure. You're right. Killingham, I'm a little more on the fence with because he hasn't necessarily messed up, but Summers was
mhm.
down, defeated, and almost killed entirely.
Yeah. Um, Now, I don't know how this whole conversion ritual thing works. We don't know the true nature of it. I think they were saying, well, they were in between them, so they were, converted or whatever. It could have been Gunko doing it too. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
really.
Yeah.
Um, what if who do we know that has had attacks named after like demons and stuff? Well, I guess that's a bit of a stretch. What I'm
Target.
getting at is, what if Zoro gets changed and we get his little conflict with Luffy kind of brought up to the surface?
I hate that.
Yeah,
I'm not shitting on the idea, but I think my heart would break if Zoro got changed.
yeah,
You're right though,
no, and
because like
I,
I've been predicting that. I've had my eye on that little conflict that's brewing under the surface.
hmm
I think it could
yeah,
be very well done. I think I would hate that. Maybe in a good way. Maybe I hate it in a good way where it hurts me, but I have to keep reading because it's so good. But I am
yeah,
terrified of that idea now. That's on the table for sure.
yeah. I honestly, I don't know if I would like it either, but like, I don't know. We've had some indications that Zoro's got some sort of tension with Luffy right now,
No,
and
you're absolutely you're onto something. Whether or not that happens here or some other way, like there's absolutely
mhm.
tension between them. And what's the most believable way to make them fight is brainwash them.
Yeah, and it would make more sense than Whiskey Peak did. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there isn't. Maybe we resolve their conflict some other way. I don't know.
I can't. Do we have confirmation if Dory and Brogy have Conqueror's Hockey?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I know Zoro does, and I can't
Zoro
imagine
does.
someone with Conqueror's Hockey is so easily subdued.
No, let me. That might be something I can Google.
But Dory and Brogy have been fighting for 100 years, great warriors, super powerful. I can't imagine they don't have Conqueror's Hockey.
Um,
Yeah, no, this is like
um,
single handedly the most terrifying panel I've ever seen.
so I'm not seeing any definitive evidence that they have hockey.
Yeah, no, I mean that'd make sense. I could absolutely buy armament, but I didn't know if Conquerors was confirmed.
Yeah, like they definitely have a strong will. Like we see it this
Mm-hmm.
chapter. They're not really bothered by Emu slash Kunko's hockey, but yeah, I don't know if they're capable of doing it
Yeah,
themselves.
which
So I
I
don't know.
I hope is like the barrier where you can't be converted if you're a conqueror. Like that's what makes you a conqueror is you conquer. You don't get conquered.
Yeah,
Except Doflamingo,
no,
he
I'd
got
like that.
conquered.
He got conquered so hard.
Um, but yeah, no, I just when the Gorosei landed, that we had seen them, but we never saw their form, so that was really like their first proper
hmm
introduction where they've landed in our conflict. Um,
Yeah.
Dory and Brogy, we know them, we've seen them, we know what they're capable of. We know they just got powered up. It's just it. You're not going to be introduced and kick all of the ass immediately and just win. So I wasn't too
hmm
afraid when they landed. But these guys are established, and we know shit's going bad right now. And I think that's why this one actually scares me. The Gorosei I figured was going to be a fun little
mm
expedition. See their
Sure.
powers, flaunt them around, and get the heck out of there. This,
hmm
I have little to no hope. I mean, obviously, we get out of this somehow, but how?
I
And where
just
the hell
noticed
is
how
Shanks? When does Shanks get back?
he's not coming this arc. No. Well, I
I
actually won't discount that,
Yeah,
but
no, I could absolutely see like Luffy and Loki rally, they go launch a counterattack, and then he moves like, okay, I'm really pulling out the brakes now, and then that's when Shanks
yeah.
shows up and ends conflict. Like I could see a turn and then another turn and then the Shanks.
hmm And I think, yeah, because this being the final saga, like maybe we start jumping into final war territory. Like we don't know why the Holy Land's burning down, but a lot of people think it is the revolutionaries because the Holy Knights are making their move. Um, so maybe we just shift to that, and maybe that kind of starts bleeding into the general world of One Piece.
But I
So
mean,
I
we're
don't know.
getting Shanks here. Like I'm convinced, even if he's not part of the conflict, he shows up at the end, and like after this, where do we go? There's like 3, 4 arcs left, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Uh, he has to show up on Elbaph. Like this is just where he tells Luffy, "This is what the history is. This is what you have to do. This is what the gum gum fruit is." Like you're a great pirate, save the world.
Yeah, I could totally see that being here.
Like, because we can't do that in the last arc or second to last. We need, this is the last saga. We need to know what we're heading towards. Like, for all
Yeah,
of the emperors, we knew we're building up to Wano. For all of the Paramount War saga, we know we're going to this war. We need to know where we're going and why we're going there, and we've already done the introduction arc. We have to check that box.
yeah. And I think, yeah, with Egghead, we didn't really have an idea of what was happening until the giant showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could totally see Oda taking a similar direction with this arc and bringing Shanks in maybe about three-fourths of the way through.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he's not showing up soon, but he'll show up before the end. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
Oh my god.
I'm also only just noticing the gun that Gunko shoots at Brogy is comically large.
Yeah, I noticed that, but why is it comically large?
Well,
Especially since the knife isn't.
I think it's mostly to do with Emu's real size being able to hold that gun with little to no difficulty. I could totally see it being that. And like you can't make Gunko's body like forcibly grow that big without damaging something really. So
No,
I don't know.
here, let me
Maybe it's
ask you
just as that.
this. Let me ask you this.
No.
Why do we have a gun and a knife? Like, why did we stab his hand and then cut it off? Obviously, it's got something to do with the ritual, but what the hell is
Yeah.
significant about this gun and knife?
I don't know.
They came together. They're part of something. They're not just a random gun and knife we got out of a random book. I
Now
need to know the
I
significance.
might I might argue that maybe the knife is simply to have him let go of Gunko. The gun, I think, is part of the ritual thing for sure. I just don't know
No,
what it means, what the
because
significance of it is.
if we really wanted to be afraid of Emu, like Emu
Now,
gets
okay, yeah,
grabbed, right? And it remains
hmm
calm the whole time, even being yelled at by Brogy. If we really just wanted Brogy to let go, we could have had Emu just, flex wings and wow, you're so much stronger than I thought. The knife is
yeah,
there for a reason. It's like, when Frodo gets stabbed with the Morgul blade. It's like when
of
Sasuke
course,
gets the hate hickey. This
yeah,
is like the thing that bites you and poisons you.
yeah. But then she immediately shoots the. Well, actually, you know what? You know what? You know what? I'm going to take back my previous statement. I definitely do think the knife is a part of the thing because A, it comes out of the book with the
Mm-hmm.
gun, and then B, the hand that it's attached to is floating like a few feet away from his arm. So like, it's probably absolutely a part of it.
I mean, but
I
if
think.
nothing else, and we really just wanted to stab him to
Oh,
let go, we could have had the tail come out and poke him in the hand. Like, the knife
now
has to be significant.
yeah, and I think because this is Brock is the only one who was put through the ritual like this that that's why his arm is the only one that looks like it, like the only one that has its hand detached, while everyone else is probably fine.
But
So
why?
that
How did
that
we
answers my
convert
question.
Dory then? Like, what happened there? Did we just fly over real quick, stab and shoot him?
I
Did
don't
we
think so.
not? Like, if not, then how did we do this ritual? I have so many questions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because okay, I'm looking at the panel of the other guys being converted, and they are very much in between them.
Mm-hmm.
They brought our attention to that for sure. For maybe that has something to do with it.
But what the hell
Um,
happened to Dory? It just Dory was over there, and then suddenly he's converted.
Yeah, his hand is notably still naturally attached, so I don't know how she got Dory. I don't. There's no signs to indicate how she did that.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we don't have a single shot of his leg, so it's possible she got him in the foot.
Hmm, perhaps, yeah.
But even then, when did she find the time? Because she was with Dory, or sorry, she was with Brogy, and then just suddenly Dory's converted. So I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they didn't show it Oda's being cheeky.
At this point, I'm sure there's more things we could dig into and dive and like look at the book and maybe there's an actual line of text you can decipher. I think that's above our pay grades. I think all we know here is shit got kicked up to 11 hard.
Hmm. I'd like to point out too, I think we have a running theme of since we're in Elbaph, this is a warriors nation, except we're not warriors anymore, but we're also seeing what it means to be a true warrior from like multiple characters. Like we got with Ranja when she was going to jump, and we're getting now here with Jarl where he's like, never tell a warrior to run from battle. So I definitely think for as much as this country's moved away from war, that we're actually not all that far removed and we're still warriors. So I don't know. I'm just pointing out that there's a theme here. Pay
Hmm.
attention to it.
So Chief
Yeah,
Jarl definitely dies here.
I mean, yeah, he was pretty much close to dead anyway, so it's not like it's any real loss. But oh, I have a question. I don't know if there's any reasonable explanation for it, but why can't we just have one king? Why did she want to make both Dory and Brocky kings?
I can only assume because giants always run in pairs for whatever reason that may be. I can't imagine, she
Yeah.
wanted to keep their tradition alive or whatever, but they seem to be on equal footing. They're kind of famous as
Hmm.
being co-captains. It's probably just like, those guys, they're in charge now. Like, they're recognizable faces. I don't think there's anything significant behind it. I could be wrong, but I just chalked it
Hmm.
up to they're always together, and how are you going to pick one over the other, especially when you don't care?
Yeah. So
Fine, it's
I
both you
don't
because
know.
that's simplest.
It doesn't. Well, it feels to me that with all these demons and they're being like conquerors and stuff, it's like oh, there's should only be one because they con what I don't know. It's just something that stuck out to me for some reason. Probably nothing.
No, especially since Emu's in control over them, I really don't think it
Hmm.
matters. And she was just like, "Yeah, you're the two strongest guys around."
You're the front of the pack. I've heard of you before. Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts from you?
Um, I like how persistent Robin is in trying to help out with the burning school and stuff. I think that's very in character. Good for her.
Yeah, no, I mean
Other
we really focused heavily on the end of the chapter here, but Robin's still having good moments. Excited to see what the Straw Hats do when they do get freed.
hmm Yeah, I do think we're gonna get more moments from them, namely Usopp, of course. I think he has to have a moment. But yeah, we're still trying to kind of waiting for the God, it's so weird. The balance of this has shifted so far back and forth
Mm-hmm.
like multiple times in this arc alone. So like I'm really curious to see how this all plays out because I have no idea.
I love like it's classic Oda. It's classic storytelling in general. You want bad things to happen. You've got to neuter your main cast. That's why Luffy was in the snake for like all of Skypiea.
Yep.
That's why he was locked in the Coliseum, and Zoro was fighting Pika for so long. Like,
Hmm.
what fills me with hope that we get out of here is every single one of the Straw Hats is currently out of commission. Like,
Yep.
we've all been captured, we're all somewhere else, we're separated. So we still have the release the Straw Hats as our comeback. Like, as
Hmm.
soon as they're back in action, shit gonna get real, real.
Hmm. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. But yeah, I've got nothing else.
Yeah, no, that's I'm so excited. Thank God we don't have a break week next week, so we will be back talking about 11:51 next Sunday. If you guys want to see that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification. We'll see you next time.